Morning guys, we are in Cambodia. Just ordered our breakfast for the morning and sort of a, I'd say continental breakfast. It looks nothing like the image, but that's fine. Today we are looking to go to S21 Prison and the killing fields, which is all part of Cambodia's gruesome history. It's not going to be the happiest of days, as it's quite a sad time for Cambodia, but it should be really interesting to go and see. Hopefully can show you guys some of the history that's actually gone on here in Cambodia, which, I say history, it wasn't that long ago. And it's all about the reign of Pol Pot, and not the guy from Britain's Got Talent. But as we progress through the day, I'll sort of tell you a little bit more and give you as much information as I can. So first port of call is S21 Prison. I'm not alone, Jess is with me. There she is. But I might leave her in the prison.
Leave you in the prison?
Yeah. Fortunately, where we're actually staying is about a 2-minute walk from the prison. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but for location and taking the tuk-tuk everywhere, it's pretty good. We've also just booked our tuk-tuk to take us to the killing fields later. He's going to take us there, wait around and take us back to our hotel for around $12. Just trying to find the entrance to the prison, and all the way around it hasn't been touched, and you can see all the barbed wire. Just paid the entrance fee to come in. It's $6 per person, and you get an audio tape included. And basically the idea is you follow the map, and when you arrive to a number, you hit the corresponding number on your machine, and then it will play back in your chosen language, so you can actually understand what's going on. When you come in, you obviously start listening to the audio tapes, which is actually a survivor translated into English, his experiences on this place. There was around 12,000 to 15,000 people that were brought in here, and there was only 12 registered survivors, so it's pretty brutal. This all happened between 1975 and 1979. The actual prison itself used to be a school, and then during the reign it was turned into a prison and a torture zone. The whole genocide happened because Pol Pot wanted to lose the intellects out of the Cambodian people, so all doctors, anyone who wore glasses, if they had soft hands or anything like that. He made everyone from cities go work in the rice fields, and anyone who seemed intelligent was brought into a prison, interrogated and tortured to admit to crimes. And inside here is basically where they were tortured before they were taken out to the killing fields. Now behind us we have the 14 gravestones of the last 14 people who were found dead here. None of which were identified, as their bodies weren't in a great state to be identified. So they were all cremated, and these stones were risen as part of their memorial. It's all very sort of powerful stuff, but we're going to keep moving around and learn more as we go. Just walked through the first sort of 10 rooms on the bottom floor, and you're asked not to take photos and video inside them. I'm going to sort of respect the memorial side of things and not take photos inside. Really brutal to sort of see. When you go in, some of them have the original beds, I say beds, the metal frames with shackles that have sort of held the prisoners restrained while they were getting tortured, and have sort of the desks in there where they were made to sign confessions of basically lies, anything they were told to say and confess to. On the floor, all the tiles, you can sort of see blood stains where there was obviously just litres of blood just pouring out. Very, very powerful stuff, and the first load of rooms are there. They still have sort of photos of the people they found there when they sort of closed down the prison, and they're the people who now rest in their graves. Just walk through where they have all the photos of victims and people that were actually killed here, and it's very moving. Some of the pictures are very graphic. The whole point in the torture is so they confess to doing something against the leader, and then they could be lawfully killed. Whoever was actually doing the torturing, if the person they were torturing died, unfortunately they would then become a prisoner themselves and then have to go through the whole process and end up dead themselves for doing something they were told to do. As you progress through all of the different buildings, you'll come across, I think it's building C, in which it's been left how they pretty much found it, in regards to all of the barbed wire, the shutters to keep out the light, the wooden cells inside. There's also, if you look in some of the cells, blood stains throughout. You've got hooks where the keys were hung. There's just so much to sort of see and take in, and it's very, very deep. And unfortunately, some of the ways people were killed, treated, is very sad. It's a lot to take in, coming here. It's not the happiest place in the world, but it's definitely worth coming to see. And definitely get the audio set, as the descriptions and the first-hand experience of some of the people speaking is just unbelievable. Really hard to believe that it was only just over 40 years ago this was happening. Here we go. What was your name?
My name is Sukum.
Sukum.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Sam.
I'm Sam.
And this is Jess.
Oh, this is.
So, thank you. Right.
Oh, get some breeze going there.
Just finished at the S21 Prison, and very somber mood. It's very powerful to go see, and it just doesn't seem right that it could have only been about 40 years ago. Highly recommend going though. It's a big part of Cambodia's history, and if you do come to Phnom Penh, definitely go to S21. We are actually heading to the killing fields now, which is where the prisoners were taken once they've actually done their confessions to actually be murdered. Trying to work out if that's just a form of transport or whether or not they actually made the benches. Just made it to the killing fields. $6 again to get in, and you get the audio things, which I'd definitely highly recommend. They're so informative, and it's the same process again. So hit the numbers and walk around. As you follow the tour guide around through your ears, you obviously stop at lots of different areas around the killing fields where certain things sort of happened, and each one sort of adds to the story to give you a clearer understanding of exactly what went down here. Some of them worse than others. I mean, you've got sort of the mass graves of I think the biggest one was like 450 people just in one grave. You got another one that is sort of filled with beheaded victims. There's one for women and children, and next to that there's a tree where they used to actually kill the children on by hanging them, well, holding them by their ankles and then swinging them into the tree so their heads hit the tree, and then just throwing them in the pit next to it. It's known as the killing tree. Right in the centre of the whole area is a big tree where they used to hang speakers from, and the idea was to play out like revolutionary songs to sort of disguise what was actually going on and hide the sounds of screaming and pain basically to the outside world. So anyone sort of driving by or walking by wouldn't have any idea what was going on, and it just seemed like it was a meeting place for political leaders. As you actually walk around, you also might see some fragments of bone, bits of clothing, cloth rising up in the soil where the rain comes down and the bits are rising up. A little bit touching, and it's every now and then they go around and pick up the remains. Right in the centre of the place you've got a monument that is filled with around 9,000 skulls. And now all the skulls are back in the memorial in the centre, which stands as a mass grave to remember what actually happened here. It's actually the biggest memorial site for what happened in the genocide. There was hundreds of killing fields around Cambodia, but some of them can't be reached because of landmines. Some of them they don't know where they are. Some of them are deep in the jungles, and others just have a small memorial outside or on top, just to sort of remind you what happened there as well. All very powerful stuff this morning. Obviously doing the S21 Prison as well as this. Quite a lot to take in one day, so we're going to try and go do something a little bit more chirpy this afternoon. On our way into the Royal Palace. It's about $10 each to actually get in here now. They've just had a rise on the cost, but we're hoping it's worth it. We've not seen it before, but the grounds are quite big, and wow. First thing you see, yeah, wow. Just finished in the Royal Palace, and a little bit more jolly than the two places we visited this morning, which is nice. I wouldn't say it's worth the $10 it costs to get in. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and the place is massive. Unfortunately, some of it was closed when we got there. It only takes about 20 minutes to walk around, and that's sort of going in the majority of the buildings. But worth a look if you're here. But if you had a choice between the killing fields or the Royal Palace, definitely do the killing fields. We're heading back to the hotel now, and then we'll see where the evening takes us. Heading out for some food right next to our hotel. We're actually staying right next to the prison. You can actually see the fence and one of the prison cell blocks there. A little bit eerie, we've just walked up this road. Very, very strange. It's a very powerful place, and unfortunately has such a horrible history. But yeah, so that's where the prison is, just on that corner, and our hotel is past the green, just there, where the sign is. Quite an intense day today. Gonna make it a little bit light-hearted tomorrow, but it's another travel day. We're actually heading up north in Cambodia. Hopefully we get to our destination within the 6 hours, and then we can show you around when we get there. So if you made it this far, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.